Hi, everybody. My name is Michael Horn. I'm here to talk with you today about automating insurance document processing with AI. So, this here's the AWS AI/ML stack. We are always innovating on behalf of our customers to deliver the broadest and deepest set of machine learning capabilities for builders of all levels of expertise. At each layer of this stack, we're investing in removing the undifferentiated heavy lifting so that your teams can move faster. We want to start here with the bottom layer. The bottom layer here, we have expert practitioners that can develop on their framework of choice as a managed experience in Amazon SageMaker, or they can use deep learning AMIs, Amazon Machine Images, which are fully configured with the latest versions of the most popular deep learning frameworks and tools. At the middle layer is Amazon SageMaker, which provides every developer and data scientist with the ability to build, train, and deploy machine learning models at scale. It removes the complexity from each step of the machine learning workflow so you can more easily deploy your machine learning use cases, anything from predictive maintenance to computer vision to predicting customer behaviors. Customers can achieve up to 10 times improvement in data scientist productivity utilizing Amazon SageMaker. But today, we're here to focus on the top layer of the stack, which is AI services. At the top layer here, we have services which allow developers to easily add intelligence to any application without needing machine learning skills. The pre-trained models provide ready-made intelligence for your applications and workflows to help you do things like personalize the customer experience, forecast business metrics, translate conversations, and extract meaning from documents, and more. So in order to speak about intelligent document processing, we do have to take a step back and speak about legacy document processing. Legacy OCR, or optical character recognition, and manually processes are time-consuming, expensive, and can be error-prone. We know that these manual processes today do not scale, such as extracting information off of documents via human review and inputting that into databases manually. It is also difficult to find useful information on a quick basis to be able to make intelligent business decisions. Ultimately, faster document processing will shorten life cycles and decision cycles, but it also enables you to serve more customers and have your employees do higher value tasks. From an insurance perspective, we know that there's plenty of documents, and there's certainly a long tail of documents that are used in the insurance industry. Things such as claims, medical notes, government forms, enrollment forms, these are all different examples of documents that are used across the insurance lifecycle. From an intelligent document processing perspective, we are able to take care of documents that are both structured and unstructured. Structured documents being documents that are consistently the same over time or similar over time, such as an insurance claim, but also things that are unstructured, such as medical notes, things that are handwritten or generated on a one-by-one basis. We're able to look at all of these different types of documents and extract the different pieces of information out of them. So what are the benefits of using Amazon's intelligent document processing? And to be clear, IDP, which I will refer to occasionally during this broadcast, is intelligent document processing. This is a use case from Amazon. It is a combination of multiple AI services based on our customers' needs that can be utilized to do a full document extraction pipeline and, again, work on those things such as intelligent decision making. We want to ensure customers can go beyond their traditional extraction, which is OCR, and ensure that they keep the context of their documents as they extract them. So being able to extract things like tabular data or being able to extract handwritten analysis is super important, and keeping the context of those documents saves time from a post-processing perspective. We want to be able to give customers the ability to analyze their documents and send those relevant pieces of information downstream to alternative systems and workflows, again, so that there is less manual overhead. We want to do the undifferentiated lifting for our customers. Ultimately, what this comes down to is reducing the cost of document processing. As we move forward with automation, we can take those employees and put them on higher value add tasks. We can also process more documents faster, which will ultimately serve your end customers faster, being able to get claims faster or being able to run through that entire pipeline faster will ultimately not only serve your business, but the satisfaction of your customers at the end of the day. So here we have a look at what a traditional health insurance claim form is on the left side. Now, with traditional OCR, which is just extracting every single word on the page without context, we have a different way to do this with Amazon Intelligent Document Processing. As you can see on the right, we do have the ability to extract the forms with different checkboxes. We can extract different pieces of contextual data, such as an insurer's ID number, and keep that context as we extract it. Right below that on the right side, you can also see that there's a section for handwriting. So we can do a binary check. Is this something that is signed? Is there a signature here? And we can say yes or no, and we can actually pull that extraction from that document. And then following that on the bottom piece is a table. Like I mentioned earlier, we are able to extract tabular data from documents, both unstructured and structured, and ensuring that we keep things such as rows, columns, and headers intact so that we can push that data downstream. Additionally, there are other things that can be done with intelligent document processing. It's not just the extraction of the data. For example, we can do things like redaction of sensitive data, or PII, personally identifiable information. You can actually redact those items and send those downstream as well. So if you're submitting this information to third parties, you can redact things like name or social security number or date of birth if you need to. Our customers are always asking to be able to classify types of documents. They want to understand which types of documents are in a package, for example, and be able to route that to the right APIs to ensure that they have the most accurate extraction possible. So being able to upload 500 pages or 200 pages and go through the process of, is this a medical record? Is this an invoice? Is this an appeal letter? Actually helps in that pipeline to automate that workflow even further, because you are now able to send it to the specific APIs that will do the best job of extracting all that information. So classification is a huge piece in that step of that larger pipeline. We can also do things like custom entities and custom entity recognition. So if the pre-trained models do not fit exactly what your needs are in terms of entities that you are trying to recover, you can actually create your own custom entities on recurring documents and extract those consistently over time. For example, being able to create an entity such as medical condition or med condition, and being able to pull those out of documents consistently also helps our customers have more flexible document extraction workflows. So ultimately, what do we want to achieve? We want to ensure that we can reduce the total cost of document processing. Like I mentioned earlier, it is a manually intensive, high-cost process, and it's something that can be automated up to a point of 90% plus. And we really want to help our customers get down to a point where there's maybe 10% of exceptions. We know that there will be a long tail of documents, and we know that specific pieces of those extraction points need to go through what we refer to as human in the loop or human review. And that's okay. But we do want to help our customers get to that 90% point. What does that look like? We also want to ensure that we can help our customers extract even more information than they are doing today. Typically, what we see are very key points and critical pieces of information that are being extracted. However, we do provide the ability to extract even more information that customers aren't able to extract on their own. Again, going back to that undifferentiated lifting piece. Now, utilizing that additional information that customers were not able to get beforehand, they can actually do things like forecasting data and be able to run models and understand what future pipelines look like in terms of their customers or different persona profiles with that data. Here we have a bunch of customers, and as you can see, we have customers all across multiple industries. Although this one is focused on insurance, there are, of course, customers that deal with insurance forms that may not be traditionally in the insurance space or what we would think of as the insurance space. Intelligent document processing covers many different verticals, not only from insurance, but also healthcare, financial services, and legal. And here are just a few of the customers that we have in the mix that are utilizing intelligent document processing today. One of our customers I would love to speak about is Anthem. So, Anthem had a problem in terms of extracting sensitive information from claims forms, and it was a very labor intensive manual process. So, Anthem now today utilizes Amazon Textract to automate its claims process. They are able to detect things like forms and tables that they weren't able to before, and they can do so while adhering to security and compliance standards. By utilizing Amazon Textract, Anthem can actually extract and digitize data to quickly process thousands of claims each day, and having gone to about an 80% automation rate. And Anthem does expect to reach that 90% automation level that I was referring to earlier. So again, not only were they able to automate their own processes internally, but ultimately this does stream down to help their end users be able to get through their claims faster. So from an intelligent document processing standpoint, what does this look like in terms to actually have a successful deployment? Who are the stakeholders required to actually have a successful pipeline and implementation? Well, we see this as three main buckets here, which is, of course, an AWS developer, project manager, as well as a business systems analyst. These three buckets can combine and should combine to look at this pipeline not as an operational expense or an operational workflow, but how do they look at this as an investment on a years-long basis? We want to ensure that a business systems analyst, for example, is involved in this process so they can see what IDP can do for the rest of the business and maybe other departments that aren't involved in this investment. We want to ensure that there's a project manager who can actually help executive sponsorship land the investment, and they can ensure that the upstream data that is being collected through intelligent document processing actually helps align with the business goals. And of course, the AWS developer. We want to ensure that there's someone on the project that can actually do the development steps that are needed to actually deploy an IDP pipeline, and that they can utilize our AI services. Now, again, our AI services are pre-trained models, but there's a lot of flexibility in terms of what they can do. They can also leverage our other services, our ML services that are not pre-trained models, and add those on top if needed. Talking about an implementation standpoint, there are some customers that don't have an ML team or a data science team that they can leverage to be able to build these IDP projects. By all means, that does not mean that they can't move forward with intelligent document processing. We have plenty of partners that can be utilized to either build in-house or they can help along with the implementation of intelligent document processing. So there's a lot of flexibility, again, not only from our customers' perspective. Let me take that back. 3, 2, 1. Not only is there a lot of flexibility where our customers can build in-house, but they can also utilize partners where they can leverage things like UIs that we do not provide. Or again, they can have sort of a solutions implementation specialist come in and help them deploy an IDP project. So again, there's tons of flexibility in terms of how customers can actually get to that stage of implementation, whether it's utilizing a partner or building in-house on their own. And here we have an example claim form. So again, looking at this as an overall pipeline, right? It's not just extraction and throw it in a database and that's it. We want to ensure that customers are thinking about this from a long-term perspective and how that pipeline looks. So this is an oversimplified example of this, but we can walk through it. From a data capture standpoint, we want to ensure that there's a centralized place for all of the claims forms to be ingested in, ensuring that we are not missing any claims forms from any customers that are being ingested through other pieces of the business. It's often helpful to have it in a centralized location. And again, talking about classification that I referred to earlier, what types of forms are coming in? Sometimes either the wrong documents are being entered in, either by customers or elsewhere. And we want to ensure that we have the right documents first before running it through that extraction process. This way, we can sort of have a checks and balances to ensure that the right documents are there before we push it through the rest of the pipeline. This way, we can actually go back to the customer or end user and say, hey, we actually didn't receive the right document from you. Would you mind uploading that again? Not only does this reduce the time for your end user to be able to get something back, but again, it also saves time on that post-processing manual overhead piece, ensuring that you have the right documents in that process. Next, we actually go to the extraction phase. Again, talking about what I said earlier, being able to extract not only the critical pieces of data that you're looking for, but maybe there are other pieces of data that you would like to have that you have not been able to extract before. So it's not just the key entities, but it's everything in the documents that you can utilize as different data streams, or being able to possibly generate further revenue streams from these different types of information that you would normally not be able to collect. Next is, of course, that enrichment piece. So this is going back to PII redaction, right? Or looking at insights to see maybe how your customers are feeling as part of this claims process. Gaining insights on that data is super important, being able to push that to a downstream perspective. And then next we have the review and validation piece. So this depends on what your business levels are looking for from an automation perspective. But going back to that Anthem example, right? Having that 90% plus automation, we recognize that there will be pieces of information that will need to be validated. And so we want to ensure that there's a process in place to be able to validate and review that information. So depending on what your confidence scores are and what you're looking at from a business perspective, you can always push that additional information through a human in the loop or human review to be able to validate those claims and ensure that the right information is being extracted and can be sent downstream. And then, of course, being able to take that information and make proper business decisions on that. So for this example, having a claims database, having it updated 1 hour of receiving the file, you can actually reduce that entire time for that entire process. Now, again, we want to take a look at this from an investment standpoint and a long-term standpoint. So it's not just that extraction piece, but as you can see here, there are several steps in this pipeline that are incredibly important to the intelligent document processing workflow. Next, we have built this visual demo in order to show what a possible claims processing pipeline would look like, utilizing many different intelligent document processing services from AWS.
The goal of intelligent document processing is to help your organization make faster and more accurate decisions by applying AI to process your paperwork. This video will highlight the AWS AI technology that our customers use to speed their business process. These AI technologies can be used across insurance, including claims, underwriting, customer correspondence, or contracts. One of the ways AI helps speed up decisions is recognizing if a set of documents is complete and has the necessary information for a decision to be made. Over time, the amount of human help that is needed to process documents is reduced as the AI improves. Let's dive deeper into the first claim so we can see how the process works. Documents can come in from multiple channels such as mailroom, emails, admin portals, and in multiple file formats. Figuring out what you have is the first step. Our AI was able to classify what types of documents were received, but the fifth one didn't meet the business rule that require human review if the AI confidence score is below 85%. Let's click on the preview of the document file, see what it is. And this is an insurance card. In this example, the AI correctly predicted that it was an insurance ID, but the confidence score didn't meet the required level, so a human review was required. Now that the documents are classified, let's go to the next step. Looking at the form, the AI is able to read all the key value pairs, for example, total charge for $5, and structure the results so they can be easily used by your downstream system. This technology also works for handwritten text as well as checkbox. At the very bottom of the form, there is a table. The AI keeps the headers, rows, columns, cells organized, allowing the procedure date and charges to be extracted accurately. The AI can also find key value pairs in documents like this in ID card. Let's take a quick look at the raw text. AWS AI transforms this difficult to process group of words into useful information that we saw on the result tab. To speed up processing invoices, our AI provides you with standardized field names such as total or who sent the invoice. If you need details, the line items are also extracted. Many businesses need to find information that is unique to their use case, which is hidden inside the dense text type of documents. Based on the limited number of labeled examples that you provide, the AI is designed to recognize pieces of information that are important to your business, such as patient name or patient ID. This technology is also used to identify key information in your contracts. Now let's see how business rules can be set up for your IDP workflow. The business rules that you set up are based on your organization's requirement. In addition to making sure all the information is included, you can also set up rules that match customers' names, policy number, across documents. After the quality checks are complete, the information from the documents is ready to be sent to the next step on your business process. To learn more or speak with a document processing specialist, please visit our website.
That's it for today. My name is Michael Horn. Thank you very much.